Welcome back. Today we're diving into a topic that might not be on everyone's radar, but is incredibly important for the health of our planet and ourselves. The often overlooked forms of pollution we tend to think of are smoggy skies or plastic-filled oceans. And those are critical issues, but there's a whole spectrum of less visible yet equally impactful environmental challenges we need to understand. Let's start with something called light pollution. You might not think of light as a pollutant, but excessive and misdirected artificial light at night can disrupt natural ecosystems. It affects the behavior of nocturnal animals, interfering with their navigation, foraging, and reproduction. And for us humans, it can disrupt our sleep cycles, impacting our overall well-being. Imagine a world where the stars are no longer visible because of the glow from our Next
cities
is a very important one that I think is mostly overlooked by pretty much anybody, and that's noise pollution. There's constant overwhelming noise from traffic, construction, or industrial activity. It's not just annoying, it can have a serious health consequence. It contributes to stress, sleep disturbance, and can even lead to hearing loss. For wildlife, it can mask vital sounds like predator warnings or mating calls, which survival is much harder this way because of constant noises that us humans create. Just think of airplanes flying overhead and trains, basically any transportation that we have. It really affects our well-being and really everyone around it. And it's really hard to understand that noise pollution is a real thing because it's just so normal from our daily lives, But there's not really much that is being done about it because it's kind of hard to just change engines, and transportation needs are very important rather than our health needs, I guess. But next, we're going to be talking about thermal pollution. This refers to degradation of water quality by any process that changes ambient water temperature. Often this can be caused by power plants and industrial manufacturers that use water for cooling and then discharge that heated water back into our lakes or rivers. This temperature increase can drastically reduce dissolved oxygen levels in the water, harming aquatic life that rely on specific temperature ranges to survive. It's a silent killer for many underwater communities. And although this one might be more of a known topic, but it's just a broad statement of chemical pollution, there are obvious ones like industrial spills, that include microplastics, which are tiny fragments of plastic that have been broken down. They're found everywhere, from our oceans to the air we breathe, and really the food that we eat, honestly. But that's really a topic for another time. But there's a long-term effect on not just our health, but animals as well, as there are many research findings that are concerning due to the widespread use of plastics and all of our mainly industrial needs. So if we find that an animal's around and we're like, let's use some pesticides, that really affects our air and quality of life. So we don't really think of it as, this is harming us, this is just fixing the solution. The solution to our problems are really of one thing, but we're negating the fact that we are creating another problem. But when it comes to agriculture and pesticides, the plants actually take in any of the nutrients and pollutants that would be around that. So say there's a chemical spill near a farm field and they're like, oh yeah, we cleaned it up. You cleaned it up visibly, but it leached into the soil, and this will affect human health down the road. But finally, we're going to get into radio frequency pollution. This is the increasing presence of electromagnetic radiation from sources like cell towers, Wi-Fi, routers, and electronic devices. While this is still being researched, understanding the potential cumulative effects of constant exposure is becoming increasingly important as our reliance on these technology grows. Although this one might be just more of I'd say, not a theory, but it's kind of in the works of understanding this one. I wouldn't be too worried about this as long as you have yourself with some moderation with the electronics. There used to be so many scares, but that's all they are. Just scares just to keep you on your toes. But that's really the few that I could come up with that are really unknown. But it's important to keep these ones in mind because they highlight that our environmental health isn't about just what we can see. It's also about the balance of our ecosystems and the subtle ways our actions can disrupt it. By becoming aware of these less visible forms of pollution, we can make more informed choices in our daily lives, advocate for better policies, and contribute to a healthier planet for everyone. It's about recognizing that every aspect of our environment, no matter how subtle, plays a vital role. Thank you for kind of joining me in this little, I don't want to say it's a rant, it's just like a little informative way to give you a new perspective on how I think of things. I really mainly care about noise pollution, but the rest of them are fairly important as well. But should take a deeper dive into how these pollutants can really affect you. You don't want to be stressed out all the time, or worse, but that's for another time. I hope you enjoyed this little video here, and maybe consider subscribing, leave a comment, and don't make fun of me too much, because this is my first time really making a serious video. It might be weird if you're been subscribed for a while, but this is the new direction of the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.